Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
Is that all you got?
Let's begin now.
What up? Oh, for sure.
messenger. Kill the messenger. Kill the messenger.
In my dreams, I walk free in the city streets. 2,500 days plus 50 weeks. Doing hard time for these WikiLeaks. Trying to bring the truth out, man, it only gets you weak. And then they gag you. You don't get to speak. And when you get the leak, they try to hit the leak. The masters of the masses, they want this shit to street. That's why my middle finger's up to these sick elites. Playing on the regular.
You kill the messenger.
Free speech is the freedom of press. Take your deepest, darkest secrets, never leave them unsaid. If I'm a thief, then I'm a thief for the people you dread. The people want the red, while the blue you keep them in bed. Seeking the sheep, keep them asleep, deceiving the weak. Keep seeking the leech till you cease, and I see your defeat. Until I'm deceased underneath a freeze of red sheep. Become a dead man, then I hit the switch and release. When Goldman Sachs is when Goldman Sachs is your creditor.
Kill the messenger.
And outside my window a figure quickly creeps. They dark as night like some motherfucking chimney sweeps. Whiskey what my Mickey keeps. Dying in my kidneys weak. Silence of my risky tweets. What the grand jury seeks. I'm wanting peace like 7 years in Tibet. Now rest in peace like 7 years under threat. Cause I released 7 vaults. They upset. They ended the rape sentence. But the US still insists arrest. I guess it's a sin to take the truth and disseminate. And okay to Gandhi. Take him and eliminate. And I don't say I'm great. Just wanna say what's fake. But if they kill me, a million others will take my place. The CIA's post like a knife the sharpest. All hypocrisy, lies, and heartless. They want to stop me, my life, make my heart quit. Cause democracy dies in the darkness. Cause democracy dies in the darkness. You kill the messenger.
You kill the messenger.
Democracy dies in the darkness.
Darkness.
Hi everyone, I'm sorry about the colour. I've just seen the colour and the colour is all out of sync for some reason for this live stream. But yeah, there's not much I can do about it now. Sorry, just moving that off into... Hi everyone in the chat. It seems, yeah, everybody is on the same page by the look of it. Let me just set this up, make sure. Yeah, the colour's a bit out of whack, so I'm sorry about that, but what can we do? Let's just move me out. Central. Hi everyone. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Titch in the chat, that's my girlfriend. She's taken the piss out of me because we were going to go and see George Galloway on Friday, and I don't own a car. I go everywhere by public transport. So we got the bus up to Wolverhampton, and then we're going on to Dudley, and then I looked at the ticket and I went, hold on a minute. And we actually went up on Thursday instead. We went up a day early, just totally got the days wrong this week. But yeah, we went to George Galloway on Friday to see his Dudley Town Hall. There's about 250 people there, I think, which some councillors thought was terrible because it seats 1,000, and he somehow thinks that 250 people was a bad result. I've forgotten what that politician's name was now. He was one of the politicians from the Midlands who moved over to Change UK and something. Yeah, he couldn't get 2 people and a dog to come out and see him. So, and somebody reminded me on Twitter when I announced this live stream that George Galloway is on live at the moment. I really shouldn't doubt that because half of my audience has just switched over to him. But hey ho, competing with the big boy. Now, hey Gordon, what's the scoop? Well, I'll tell you the scoop in a minute, mate. Fortalls, I'll tell you it in a minute, mate. Martin Evans, good news said last week you need to get up to speed on the Epstein case. I bet you're up to speed now. Yeah, yeah, I pretty am. Pretty much am. It's been a busy couple of days. I've been trying to finish I've got 2 videos that I'm trying to finish. Wow, this live stream. Just bear me a second. Keeps going out of focus. Just bear me a second. Yeah, there's 2 videos that I'm trying to get finished. There's one is a video on George Papadopoulos, who we know is at the centre of the whole Russiagate Joseph Mifsud case. And the other one is on Boris Johnson and the Tories, because it looks like they're going down a route where they might be legalising cannabis, or certainly doing something with regards to that law. Knowing the Tories, it's not going to be good, that's for sure. Nick Gethy says Galloway speaks sense on international matters, not much less so on Scotland. I just think George Galloway speaks a lot of sense on a lot of things. It's not somebody I agree with totally on everything, as who does, you know. People who have been married 30, 40 years will tell you they don't agree all the time. But on the majority of things, I agree with him. I can see the chat going Trump body count and other people going Clinton body count. It's a waste of time doing that, guys. I'm going to be talking about that right now, actually. Let me just make sure that I've got everything set up for this, because, yeah, I think I've got everything set up by the look of it. Oh well, we can play it by ear. So everyone, Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire paedophile and alleged pimp to the powerful, has died by suicide, is what they're saying. Now, my first question, of course, is hands up, all of you in the chat, hands up, all of you watching now, who knew this was going to happen? Come on, don't be shy. Your hand up. Put your hand up. Honestly, they might as well have just chopped him up in an embassy in Turkey, hadn't they? I mean, is there anybody out there that didn't think that this was going to be happening? Everybody knew this was going to happen. When the details came out about the sealed documents, the 48 hours before he died by suicide, but on the morning he died, my girlfriend and I were saying, yeah, he's going to die now. We were expecting it. I mean, I knew it. She knew it. No doubt you knew it. Everybody knew it. You didn't have to be Nostradamus or Mr. Meg to predict this one, did you? You know, Michael Fish missed a 100-mile-an-hour hurricane. Even he knew this was coming. You know, the bankers who crashed the economy in 2008 and didn't see that one coming, whereas everybody else did, of course. They knew this was coming. Stevie Wonder could see this coming. Come on. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Now, it wasn't just everybody, you know, in this chat who knew it was coming. Twitter knew it was coming as well. This was I was stunned by Epstein's suicide, said John McAfee, though probably not as much as Epstein himself. Pretty much encapsulates it all. People on Twitter knew. Citizen Halo called this out, and I mean, there's a conspiracy theory there, if you like. One of the good ones as well. But maybe he will be indicted on Epstein's Lolita Express trial if Epstein is not suicided before July the 25th. There you go, there's another one. 2 weeks ago, I was in Bretton Woods and we discussed Jeffrey Epstein in a private conversation. The chat involved people who had worked for the US government, and their conclusion was Epstein will be killed before the trial. Even in America, murder in lawful custody can be arranged. Another one, July the 30th, published. Economist says Jeffrey Epstein will be killed in jail. Seemingly everybody knew this was going to happen. Everybody was talking about it. Jimmy Dore has been doing a really good joke about this for weeks, expecting it to happen. And now it has. One of the reasons why I haven't talked about it so far is because I've been so concentrated on doing other things and concentrated on other stories. and other people in independent media have been doing so well, I thought I might as well just wait until he's dead to do the story. I didn't realise I wasn't going to have to wait long. Nobody's fooled by this. Surely nobody is fooled by this. I mean, let's face it. I think even the BBC are trying to tell us something. Honestly, I think even the BBC are trying to tell us something. This is their timeline, okay? This is their timeline. 10th of August, this is on the morning just before he died, the day, within 24 hours of him, you know, dying by suicide. Prince Andrew groped woman, court files allege. These are the sealed documents that are unsealed now. This is the timeline, remember, on the BBC. Prince Andrew groped woman, court files allege. Few hours later, disgraced financier Epstein found dead in cell. A few hours later, questions raised over Jeffrey Epstein's death. No shit, Sherlock. No shit, questions are being raised. This is seriously, seriously dodgy. I've been reading through some of the documents that are under seal. Oh, no, wrong one. I've been reading through some of the documents that are on the seal. You can. I'll leave a link to this when I drop the video underneath. Let me just quickly leave a link to it in the chat so you can all go and have a look at it. I've been reading through some of the documents, and I got to tell you, if 1/5, I mean, these documents were released 48 hours before he died by suicide, remember, but if 1/5 of the allegations in these documents are true, just 1/5, this man makes Harvey Weinstein look. This man makes Harvey. If just 1/5 of the allegations against this man are true, just 1/5, he makes Harvey Weinstein look like that creepy uncle that is just a little bit strange. That's it. He's a monster, an absolute monster. I cannot stress this enough. Like I say, I'll link to that later page in the comments. Click on it's in the chat as well. So click through, read some of them. The guy was a monster. Among the multiple accusations against him, there were also allegations in the documents, among some very serious, that Donald Trump raped the girl. And also Alan Dershowitz, I think it's on 3 occasions, she said that he raped her. Now, these are obviously all being denied by the parties, totally. But this is serious stuff. You know, pictures of that girl with Prince Andrew. You know, there's Ghislaine Maxwell on the right-hand side, I think that is. This is the Robert Maxwell's daughter, who was Jeffrey Epstein's, I suppose, facilitator, and used to, is alleged to have got these girls from a very young age and groomed them. Like, why is Prince Andrew over there? You know, there's so many questions. So many questions. Prince Andrew, in those files, there was about 15 numbers that Jeffrey Epstein had for Prince Andrew that I saw. And then his previous wife, Sarah Ferguson, who rushed to his side to be with him, I suppose, over the last couple of days, the media have been talking about. Yet there was over 20 numbers for her, I think. So over 30 numbers for Epstein to contact Prince Andrew. You know, just reading the BBC article on the allegations against this guy is enough to turn your stomach, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Because this is, remember, this is the BBC website. Oh, sorry. Live, so just bear me a second. Set up. Oh, yeah. So this is the BBC website. Prince Andrew groped woman in Epstein's house, court files allege. Just the highlighted bit here. This is on the BBC website. She recalled, I'll read this whole thing. Contained in the defamation case papers is an allegation by a woman called Johanna Schoberg that Prince Andrew touched her breast while they sat on a couch in Epstein's Manhattan apartment in 2001. Now, obviously, we don't know whether this is true, but this is an allegation. This is creepy as hell. She recalled in the documents, quote, I just remember someone suggesting a photo and they told us to get on the couch. And so Andrew and Virginia sat on the couch and they put the puppet on her lap. And so when I sat on Andrew's lap, and I believe on my own volition, and they took the puppet's hands and put it on Virginia's breast. And so Andrew put his on mine. I mean, that's the reverse of what they do with kids trying to show us where they touched you. I mean, it's creepy as hell. It's enough to make you sick, that is. So if that's true, there's some serious questions to answer to here. Now remember, all of this that you're hearing in the media right now, all of these are just allegations, and all accused parties have denied any wrongdoing. Okay, it's important that we put that out there. However, let me give you a rough outline of this monster and who he was and why there were so many questions being asked of him. He's a billionaire who made his money somehow. Your guess is as good as mine. He made his money somehow, but nobody can seem to figure out how he made all these millions and some say billions of dollars. He had people working for him, including that Ghislaine Maxwell, if I'm pronouncing her name right, who allegedly recruited young girls and groomed them at a young age, who then paid and tortured those paid and defiled those girls, if you like, and then paid them, and then turned those girls into what, in those documents that I showed you, are called victim recruiters. So they're victims, and then he turns them into recruiting other girls as well. So he has an endless supply of young girls, some under the age of 16, at whatever residence he was at in his billionaire lifestyle. So this is an arrogant man, remember, who previously enlisted the services of a crack legal team and the best money he could throw at it, where he got a sweetheart deal, where he could, go to his office like 12 hours a day or something like that. I mean, he's meant to be a paedophile locked up for paedophilia. And he's getting a sweetheart deal when he can leave jail? What's going on there? What's going on? He was a powerful billionaire with the ear of some of the most powerful men and women in the world. He's been pictured with flying around the world with presidents, and he's got members of the royal family on speed dial. There's no doubt in my mind and yours, I am sure of this, that at least some very powerful people are breathing a huge sigh of release right now that Jeffrey Epstein has, quote, died by suicide. Powerful people who would know rather that man be dead. Because, let's face it, dead men tell no tales, don't they? Now, not only for the victims, but the public on both sides of the Atlantic, they all deserve the truth on this. The victims, obviously, especially. We must remember that young girls and probably young boys as well, their lives have been destroyed by this man. And for however many have come forward, which is only a handful, I'm sure they're going to be dozens that will come forward, hopefully in the coming months, and more people are going to come forward, and we're going to have a real Me Too movement. The same of which what happened after Epstein and Kevin Spacey, who is in Epstein's little black book all the way. There are so many questions that need to be asked here. Questions that need answering from our authorities, both in the UK and the US. Who the hell was this monster? Who the hell was he? How did he make this vast amount of wealth that allowed him to just fly around the country and the world defiling these young girls without anybody saying anything and everybody signing secrecy contracts with him who worked for him? Who the hell was it? Who paid him the money? Who paid him this Money that allowed him to accrue this vast amount of wealth. And more importantly, why did they pay him? What services were they paying him for? Was he really blackmailing people and using this whole thing as a honey trap, as some people have suggested? You know, in some organised honey trap operation. Was this his own enterprise? Was he acting upon his own volition just for himself? Or was he helped by other powerful people? I don't think it goes too... You don't have to stretch the imagination too far to see what I'm getting at there. Was he helped by these powerful people? Or maybe even powerful organisations? Or even worse, powerful governments? Or maybe even intelligence operations? The rabbit hole really could go down that far. Now, I'm not delving into conspiracy theory, but even if it was an intelligence agency, which one? Which one? I know lots of people are saying, but which one? We need answers. We don't need speculation. Let's face it, if he was working on behalf of an intelligence outfit or a government, that would certainly explain his sweetheart deal, wouldn't it? Think about it. There's a reason he got that. And it's not just because he has lots and lots of good money and a good legal team. Now, we already know in the UK there's a sickness that runs through our establishment. We've heard reports and we've had scoops and revelations of our own MPs doing the same sort of thing throughout history. And there's so many links to people in the UK, governmental officials, etc., that we really need to start asking deeper questions here. You know, we know that our establishment did all they could to cover up the allegations against paedophiles in the past. We know that. Not that when I say the establishment, I don't just mean the government, I mean the media as well. The media helped it. Who can forget Jimmy Savile and the BBC and how they covered him for decades? John Lydon knew it in the late 70s. You've all heard the recording on Piers Morgan. That recording where he was interviewed, where it was suppressed at the BBC for 20, 30 years. Where he was saying, yes, we all know about Jimmy Savile, don't we? The BBC never aired it. They covered it up. It's a sickness that runs through our country. And the fact this evil, depraved, sick human being was in direct contact with not only government officials in this country, MPs, and the aristocracy, you know, lords and ladies, and celebrity figures. Mick Jagger's in there. Lots of supermodels. But members of the royal family too. This should be sending alarm bells off all over the place. I mean, took something from Twitter to show you, but there's some of the names on this list. Alec Baldwin there. These are all his connections. Now, obviously, Lord and Lady Beaumont, that's from the UK. But obviously, you know, it doesn't mean anything, these names being in his book, but it certainly should raise alarm bells, shouldn't it? There's another name in the little black book. Tony Blair, London home. Alistair Campbell. Look at all those contacts for Peter Mandelson. Why would a billionaire paedophile hedge fund manager have all those contact names for Peter Mandelson? Why? It's got to be explained. It's got to be explained. The public cannot let this get swept under the rug, not in the US or in the UK. We just can't. And believe me, they're going to try. As people have made, I can see in the chat, we'll never hear what happened here. We'll never hear. They'll all get swept under the rug. We'll never hear. Maybe, maybe not. But we've still got to put pressure on them. We can't let it carry on. Not again. Not this time. How many times are we going to hear these scandals about paedophiles and establishment and paedophile rings without something actually happening? Without, you know, them having an investigation that lasts for years and then it all gets sealed. We cannot also let the state media and corporate media drive the narrative on this. I've already seen them doing it. Trying to divide people. Trying to say, no, it's Clinton. No, it's Trump. No, it's Clinton. No, it's Trump. Trying to divide people and get them arguing with each other. No. We should be uniting and turning our attentions on that establishment that is screwing us all over. We already know that the media, if there is a cover-up, we already know the media will facilitate it. We already know they are nothing but establishment PR. We already know this. I've proven it over and over again, and we can't let them be the arbiters of truth with regards to this. We certainly can't run around like headless chickens whenever the latest headline comes out. Because how many times have we seen Russiagate headlines within 24 hours be debunked as false? It's going to happen, no doubt, with this story, as it always does. It's all smoke and mirrors, as Liam in the chat mentioned earlier. We already know the media will try and cover this up rather than expose it. We already know that. They know that if we, the public, knew really what was going on with these paedophile cases throughout history, and maybe even this one too, they already know how horrified and appalled we would be. And if it ever came out how complicit they are, they know that we would turn our attention on them too. So they've got a stake in this. This is why we just can't keep listening to the mainstream media on this. We have to demand answers to our questions and not be fobbed off. My advice, listen to independent media on this story. There's a guy in America, many of you will know of him already. It's called The Political Vigilante on YouTube. His name's Graham Elwood. He does live shows with Jimmy Dore every now and then. It's a friend of his. He's been doing brilliant work on this. He really has. We Are Change have been doing some good stuff as well, and others. Listen to independent media. They're the ones who are telling the truth on this. Amplify their voices. Don't be sharing the New York Times and whatever the Guardian are saying. Share their voices. Share independent media. Demand answers and demand this sickness is ripped out of our institutions, both over the US and in the US and the UK. Once and for all, before more young girls and boys have their lives destroyed by depraved monsters like Jeffrey Epstein and Sybil Smith and Jimmy Savile. It's about time we rip this toxicity out of our establishment and out of our country. And not sweep it all under the rug just because it might make the public unhappy. We deserve the truth. Don't get sidetracked by speculation in the media as to what happened in that cell either. What do you need to know? What do you need to know? That evil, depraved man, who, by the way, I'm shedding no tears for right now. And I know you aren't either. I hope he suffered terribly. That's if he is dead. Some people have said, yeah, he might be alive, and witness protection is a thing. But let's not get into conspiracy theory. But I hope if he is dead, he suffered terribly. Because however badly he suffered, his victims suffered far, far worse. But all you really need to know about what happened in that cell is this. That evil, depraved man had people sweating. Powerful people. Powerful people who would no doubt, some of them, would rather that man be dead. You and I both said, loads of people on Twitter, you watching this, me, my girlfriend, we all said, yeah, pretty soon that guy would be dead. Graham Elwood, once he had his bail denied, he said, yeah, he's dead, that's it. We all knew he was going to be dead. And now he is. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Isn't that all you need to know? Is he dead, said McDowell? I don't know. I haven't, I've seen what... I don't know, mate. I don't know what to believe with them anymore. I just don't. It's my default position is they're all lying, and I go from there. Just quickly go and see if we've got any. Victims need to speak out, says TC. Well, yeah, they do, but it's not as simple as that, is it? I mean, you know, do they really? You can see, do they really want to, you know, go through all that again and have their lives? I can't imagine what it would do to somebody. I can't imagine what that would do. It would do to somebody. It would just destroy their lives. You know, this guy he's got. It's alleged, obviously this is, but it's alleged that he's got this Ghislaine Maxwell and others. There were another 2 in those indictments that were mentioned as well, that were literally recruiting these girls from talent agencies and what have you when they were 14, 15, 16 and grooming them. And these were 16, 17-year-old girls that he was facilitating to other people. And then maybe even blackmailing, you know? This is sick. It's sick. Quickly make sure that I've got everybody's comments. No need for the royal family, says GB January. Careful, mate. My 5 will be on your case. Alright. O'Mahony sent me a donation last live stream. Thanks very much for that, O'Mahony. Right, Love Elwood says Duncan McCown, as I do, mate. He's doing some great work on this and other stories as well. They do great work. Graham and Ron Pacone, who also works on the Jimmy Dore Show. Look at the comments on the mainstream media videos. No one is buying the official service. Nobody is B Green. It was the same with the Skripals as well. It was the same with the Skripals. It was the same with Syria. It was the same with Rushgate. Nobody's buying it. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. It's just bullshit of the highest order. And leaves me open a big lane to do this, I suppose. So, wouldn't it be funny if the secret documents went to WikiLeaks? Good luck, Julian Assange. This is something else that I didn't touch on in that story because I don't want to make every story about Julian Assange, but for those of you who think that Julian Assange will get a fair trial in America, do you want to, you know, reconsider that thought? Yeah. Personally, I think that that's the sort of thing, that's the fate that awaits him if we let him get extradited to a country that will torture and kill people if they're in federal custody and they've got secrets that will cause powerful people problems. And let's face it, Julian Assange has no doubt got a lot of them. Mainstream media desperately trying to spin Clinton had no connections to Epstein. Yeah, she did. Trump did too. You know, Trump's been alleged to have, you know, had sex with a 16, 17-year-old girl in that thing. Do I put it? No. You know, I don't know what's true and what isn't. I mean, I know Trump is bellicose to go on then try if somebody tries to blackmail him. You know, I know he's, and of all the famous people out there, he's one of the very few that come out and said, I hear he likes them on the young side as well, apparently after a falling out he had with them at the turn of the 2000s. But like I say, this is all hearsay and conjecture and he said, she said and all that sort of thing. We don't know. We've just got to keep trying to get answers here on what happened. Because this guy obviously was well connected and he was an absolute fucking monster. And that's a problem. This should be way bigger than Epstein. We know the Epstein saga is still going on. Still not in prison, is he either? I don't think. But this is way bigger. This might be months and months and months and months in the making, this story. I'll try and keep you informed on it. Right, on that, nothing is beneath the US. War is profitable, says KV. Absolutely. Clinton's and the deep state likely behind this, says Nick Gethings. Oh, are they? I don't know. I mean, you know, we'll see. Certainly, I would certainly say powerful establishment figures are behind this. I would definitely say they've got stuff to hide, and he has secrets that may well come out if he ever saw the inside of a court. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I'm going to, yeah, there's just the one story. I'll be back tomorrow live, probably around the same time, maybe 9 o'clock. You can set your watch. That's a date. I will be alive tomorrow, and I might be alive Tuesday as well. I've got a couple of stories I want to give you tomorrow. The one on something that's happening in the UK. One on George Papadopoulos, as I mentioned earlier. And there's also a couple of stories I want to do on stuff that we're doing around the world and America are doing around the world, especially in Venezuela. What they are doing, sanctioning people in Venezuela now, is disgusting. It really is. They're sanctioning the clap program. I haven't got to that story yet. I will do tomorrow in the live stream. Thanks very much for everybody for your support. I couldn't do it without you. Thanks very much for the donations that come through to support me. Yeah, I'll try and get to the bottom of things for you. And until tomorrow, take care. Look after each other. Be good. Don't believe the crap in the media. Don't let them dangle the shiny keys and keep you and get you interested in them. Keep focused. We need serious answers to serious questions here. Whether we get them or not is a different matter. I'm becoming quite pessimistic the longer I do this. Thanks very much, everybody. Peace out. Take care. Love you all.